Hello and welcome to the tutorial on Sightdeck AI. So what is Sightdeck AI? Sightdeck AI is an application that helps you to orchestrate and manage all these different Claude agents. So multiple agents working for you, and you can easily handle these with the application. So when you start Sightdeck, you see the onboarding wizard that at least helps you to install the required skills. So you just hit the button, install or update skill, for both CLI and Cowork if you use both of them. Because that's the thing, Sightdeck AI works primarily based on the skills. So it doesn't really matter if you started from within your PHP storm or a Claude CLI. You should always see the created Sightdeck tasks in your Sightdeck AI application, no matter from where you started. So how to get started with your projects? What you do is you basically just drag and drop your project folders onto Sightdeck. So you give it a name like project A, you give it a prefix, and the default Sightdeck application folder is the application folder. This is where the XML and all these tasks are being saved and stored. You can also move these to your Git repository if you want to add it and use it with your team, or as a standalone task management if you're working on a freelancer base. But if you prefer to have it just locally in your system, just keep it as it is. And there's obviously the project folder. So let me just add both of my projects, project B, and maybe also add a group, personal projects, and just drag and drop these to have it in here. So how do we start with creating things? So let me just move to project A and just type anything that I would love to do. So like install Symfony, add a login screen, install Monolog for logging. So what it does, as you can see, is it starts all with a refinement process. During the refinement process, Sightdeck tries to figure out, is it a feature, is it a bug, what's the story point complexity, and also what model should we use for it, because we don't always need to use the most expensive model. And if I'm ready, I can just either start one single task or just select all of these. And maybe not in parallel in that case, because we want to start with installing Symfony, but it would work in parallel. In that case, I would start it in order. So it tells me that the tasks have different models, so we, of course, need to use the highest one. So it's going to switch these. And then it's scheduled. Let me go to project B and maybe install Next application. Because it's a different project, we can already start with it. So let's just start this one too. And then we see what's going on with the running tasks side menu. So we have two different agents running on two different projects at the same time. Agent A is currently doing 3 different tasks, while Agent B on Project B is doing just one task. So the thing with Sightdeck AI is it gives you some kind of Kanban. So when this is ready, it should switch to in progress. So you always see what task is currently being done. There's also a waiting for review that's already in Project B, as well as an in testing. So depending on your setup, if you have PHP unit test, Cypress test, Playwright test, you do not only see that it is in progress, but also that it's currently being reviewed or in testing, and also what tool is going to be used. If we now switch to Project B, cool thing that this is being done. We see that feedback is required. So if we have multiple agents and CLI processes being run, it's kind of a pity if we figure out after 2 hours that 2 hours ago one agent had a question. So that means here it is waiting for review, and we know that either one of our terminals has a question, or we could just hit the give feedback button, and a new terminal is being opened with the question. So here we have it. Which package manager source should be used? Whatever. Let's just use npm development only, latest version, submit answer, and then it will continue after this has been processed. So I did also I did already use a previous one. So Project A told me a previous demo. Project A already told me that Symfony was already installed in the folder, so that's another feedback. But I told it to just continue. So login screen is done, monologue is already done, and that's it. So all of my projects are being done. So if I just go to localhost, there should be a Symfony being installed. So let's just continue with a different thing. So add user management or add an admin user feature. That's just an easy thing, but we all know that this might be a complex one. So I could hit just plan epic. And during the plan epic, it gives me different questions. And from these questions, subtasks are being generated. And this means that our PA4 add admin user feature will transition to an epic with subtasks in the end. So while this is being processed, let me show you the right sidebar. So I could just click on anything, and I do see all these different properties. So I see what status it has. So I could also click on any of these to force the transition, change the model, the recommended model. I do know the history, when it was created, when it was done, the spent tokens based on the mathematic calculation. I can even hit on the concept too. I mean, this is a pretty small one, but I also know the concept that was being done. So add admin user feature should show soon the questions. So in the meantime, oh, here we have it. Yes, manage users. Let's just do all of these, whatever it is. Okay, so we have the basic Kanban, the basic process. Up next, what is up next? So if I do have different tasks, I could just drag and drop these to up next. Up next means basically automatically start the tasks, but do not require any feedback. Do the best for the project that you think is. So this is a perfect thing if you just if you have weekend, if you stop working for the day and you just want to get things done in a way that it hopefully works, depending on your Claude settings and project lifecycle. And then it just makes sure that everything works while you're away. So tasks are being generated, and in the meantime, we also see a review sidebar. Review means some tasks are categorized as the type research. And research basically means that it's done once it's done, but it gives you feedback. So you have research tickets here, and if you're happy with them, you can either mark them as red, or you even you're able to convert it into a task for anything that's needs to be developed. We also have a calendar, so it gives you an overview what tickets were done for the day, also filter based on projects, all projects, how much time has been spent, how much token costs have been spent. We have different insights across all these projects, and a lot more. So let's go back to project A. We now have an epic with all these subtasks. Subtasks also get context from the parent task, so I can just hit or move these to up next. And now you see that each subtask, step by step, is being processed, as we can also see in the running tasks area. So that's the basic thing on how to use Sightdeck AI. So what else do we have? We have here the option to mark a project as favorite, to have project settings. So then we have tags. So we can use tags for front end. Back end, or maybe database, whatever you have. So that means we have a filter in here. So during the refinement process, Claude tries to figure out what ticket might be appropriate match with front-end and back-end, and automatically tries to assign tags. So that means you can have a full load of backlogs, and you can just maybe select the testing tasks and start to make sure that these are being developed. What else do we have? We have launch actions. So I could have a local documentation page, or whatever, I use it for documentation page, and add maybe a review code or implement button. Implement feature. So that means it will be a button placed on a concept HTML page maybe. And I use current URL, a placeholder current URL. So that means it's a button. When this button is being clicked, Sightdeck AI will automatically be opened. And once it's opened, it will get the current URL, and we can now type in anything that we want, like read the provided URL and make sure that the concept from it will be implemented in the source code. And here we go. I just copy the embed button, and here we go. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that. We have Git options. Automatically have Claude create a separate feature branch, a work tree, push it when it's done, squash commits, or even create a different, or even assign the branch names. We have changelog. If you're working on products, you can have the changelog markdown file automatically being created. You can use also technical entries. So if you're working or creating products for end users, maybe it's not the best thing to have technical entries. If you are using or working on frameworks for different or other developers, you might also want to include technical things to the changelog. And last but not least, we have the global settings down here. And here we can or should update the Claude CLI after Sightdeck updates. We can fetch the different models. We can disable these. We can define what model is going to be used for the refinement process. What model do we want to use for the task model detection? Do we have auto detection? Then we can assign different models to different ranges of our story points, as well as design work. Do we have anything layout about layouts and design? We might want to go with Fable in that case, or with Opus as a model. We can use or add webhooks. So once a task transitions, a HTTP call based on webhooks is being done, we can import, export things. We can use different we can use add Jira. So I click on it, it shows me it's working, and I can just add in the task text box, add a Jira URL, and it automatically fetches the Jira task, including all information. We have a caveman mode to save tokens. So there's plenty of things that we can do. If we go to running task, we now see that also the admin dashboard layout is just being created for our project A, and admin role access control foundation CLI command stuff is already done. So that's a basic tutorial and quick tutorial on how to use Sightdeck AI and how it helps you with creating your AI driven projects.